You are watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
Well, we have a special guest tonight.
Yeah, is
Somebody,
he here?
yeah, he's here.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
I see him
he is.
now. He's in the
Right,
background.
there he is. This
Oh
is
my God.
Hey!
Hi, guys.
Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Father Fish. How you
Nice
doing?
to see you.
Oh,
Welcome.
Thank you for the invite. It's great to be seen.
Well, listen, you had such a kind comment this morning or early this afternoon on Discord that I just wanted to bring you up and give folks a chance to meet you.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I'm honored to be asked, and yeah, I mean, I can't say enough. I'm thrilled. Here's the 55 that's been the bane, both the bane and joy of my existence. This
I know.
How aptly put.
But I have to tell you, I've been in the hobby. I've had a fish tank since I was 5 years old. I'm 57 years old now. And my father had the tank, and he overfed the fish. He would kill the fish probably weekly, but I loved it because we'd get to go to the pet store and get 6 more.
You bet.
I hope you weren't attached to any of them.
That's right.
No, I couldn't be. I got so used to them just, I got so used to just being, going to the pet store and picking out more. I never understood, that they had a lifespan.
Funny.
But then, as time went by, I started to appreciate the larger fish, and I would get fish that totally were inappropriate for the size of their tanks. The
Right.
red tail sharks and the bala sharks.
Perfect.
And they wouldn't make it, and I just felt so defeated. And then started having a 10-gallon tank and a 20-gallon tank. And then we had, after I got married, we had children, and I did it for the children. Then we had goldfish in a bowl. And I finally got serious about getting back into the bigger gallon tanks, probably about 6-7 years ago. And I had am I talking too much?
No,
not at all. We want to hear your story.
I had I started with a bow front tank, and we have I'm in New Jersey here. We have a really nice local pet store. It's called Absolutely Fish, and it's about an hour's drive from me. But
where are you in Jersey?
I'm in Edison, New Jersey, which is central New Jersey in Middlesex County. And I think I'm not too far from RJ. I've had a chat with him, and we seem to share the same water system.
Yeah, I'm about 2.5 hours south.
Yes, I followed your recent travel, and I think I've been near about where you are, New Jersey, in Middlesex County. Whoa, is that me? And
Oh, it's me.
Oh.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I started with a bow front tank and just gravel. I didn't know any better, just gravel. But I knew I wanted live plants. Stick the live plants in. They'd look beautiful for about a month, then they'd all melt away. Water changes every week. Overfeeding still. Overpopulating the tank. Totally frustrated. Vacuuming the substrate, having it look like a mess for weeks on end, and having it settle, do the water change again, disrupt it all, and really defeated. And I said, no, I'm going to go from this 47, and I think I need a bigger tank. I need a bigger tank to allow for the
Right.
methods.
That's not a bad reasoning.
It's not bad, but I still had the same habits.
Right.
So this time I said, well, no, I won't go for gravel. I'll go for Eco Complete. Nothing but Eco Complete.
That's a step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction. All loaded with plants. Spent a load of money on plants, stem plants. Never the floating plants, always stem plants and free floaters like attached to the wood and the driftwood. And I told you, EJ, I got the canister filter. I got the hang on back filter. I got the digital heater. Everything I could possibly do right.
Right.
And it still didn't go right. And I
Spent all the money you possibly could.
All the money I possibly could on the latest technology. Bought all the liquids, the liquid ferts, the carbon ferts, the under gravel tabs. More and more money, and not much results. Loss of fish life. And I said, well, I'm going to get bigger fish now because, the smaller ones seem a bit too sensitive. Got the bigger fish. They weren't happy. They were in there, but you could tell they just weren't thriving.
Yeah.
I had live berries.
Sounds like 10 times more frustrating than mine. I'm still
so frustrating. And for
gosh.
having done it for years and years and saying, and then go online and see all these beautiful pictures and say, what am I missing? And by happenstance, I just came across, the dirted substrate. And I said, well, let me look up dirt. I hear people talking about dirt. How in the world can you put dirt in an aquarium? That's just absurd. And
it should be the most natural thing in the world.
but to a person who's gone the route that I have, gravel and water, gravel is the way to go. And if and all you got to do is, you see the gravel in the pet stores. You see the gravel. You don't find local fish stores that have a setup, like Father Fish had in Florida. It's all gravel. It's all temporary. They load them in till the fish are sold.
Don't forget that dreaded pineapple. It's the
pineapple, the bridges. I had them all. I had the bridges. and I said, dirt. Okay, let me look into this. This is some strange new way of doing things. Not knowing, it, like you said, it is the most natural way to go. And I did so much research on you, Father Fish. I watched every single video. I then subscribed over to our friend there, Dustin, and I saw he made it look so, he's so energetic and simple. He's so young, and I just don't have the stamina to keep up with that. And Father, your delivery was just so. I was logging on just to hear how spiritual you were about the whole process, and that really struck a chord with me. I'm like, well, he's not getting flustered about anything. He's stroking his beard. He's he's very at ease. He's basically telling you, this is he would turn around and say, here's the proof. I've had this for 10 years. I've had this for 20 years. It works. I got onto the Discord. Still, he's saying it works. You got to be patient. Trust it. I just didn't trust it. And I said, no, I don't get it. I'm not doing something right. And I followed every ingredient to the T. I ordered more than I needed for everything. I didn't return anything. I had an abundance of all the ingredients, and I did it all in one day. I said, he said, you got to put it in the bucket, let it sit, wet it, make it like a pudding, put it in the bottom, leave it alone, put the sand on, leave it alone, don't touch it. Well, I have ADD. You can't tell me. I'm not kidding. I literally have it. I take medication for it and all. And I went to bed like a kid on Christmas, waking up and saying, today's the day. We're putting in the mud. We're going for it. But my miscalculation, initially, I didn't measure right, and I only put 1 inch of sand over the 1 inch of dirt.
As I recall, you also put the hardscape in really too deep. So that was...
I put the hardscape in right away, and with only 1 inch deep, I had heavy rocks, heavy stones that literally, when I pulled them out, were burned black. And I mean, they're
They had exposed the dirt, and
yeah,
essentially it was all leaching into the
they're not
water.
coming back. They're black from about, halfway through all those stones, all the way down to the bottom, pure black. And the smell was unbelievable. And I said, I'm doing something wrong. And he said, well, add another inch of sand and you'll be fine. Okay, added another inch of sand. Now I'm at 2 inches. I go away to Ireland. We went away for the first time. We traveled to Ireland, my wife and I, for 2 weeks.
Nice.
Right before I left, I ordered some green neons and some rummy nose tetras. I put them in the tank. We went on vacation. I came back. My entire fish tank, all the inhabitants were covered with ick.
Oh, yeah.
I lost 60 fish, including my bristlenose pleco that I had for 3 years. Six turquoise rainbows that were thriving and living just fine. Catfish, amano shrimp, everything gone, covered in white spots. There was no saving them. I literally would wake up every morning to 3 or 4 fish dead. Sometimes I'd sit here and one would I'd see one just then go and float to the top. And I'm like, this is worse, right? This is worse. Not only did I go with the dirt and give that a try, and that's not doing well. Now I'm losing all my fish. What do I do? I was so tempted to just, gut the whole thing. Some people were saying, oh, you got to scrape out the whole bottom, start all over again. And everybody reassured me, nope, just go ahead, add another layer of sand on top of what you already have, and you should be fine. Well, I did more than that. Again, of course, with the ATD, I added probably a good solid.
That looks about as deep as my pea puffer tank.
Yeah, that's about 5 inches.
Yeah, you got some mulm on there too. That's great.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
about a hand size of. Yeah.
Good 4 inches. Yeah.
And boy, I mean, this week just turned a corner. I told EJ, I swapped out the hang-on back, I swapped out the sponge filter, and I went for these 2 old-fashioned corner box.
Like it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's the one that Row Aquatics, she was talking about it. I'd never heard of it prior.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's because your water was getting too soft, and you were be able to continuously keep that GH up.
Well, guess what? The titrate liquid that I had was bad.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember, Father Fish. For about 6 days, I kept testing the water, and it kept saying pH like 6.0, 6.2.
Yeah.
And then I found I have a above ground swimming pool, and I said, you know what? Let me take these strips and I had 3 different sets of test strips. I stuck them in the tank. Each one of them 7.0, 7.2. I was like, how do you like that? I was probably fine with the pH and the hardness all along. And that's what RJ was telling me. He was saying, well, if you've got the same water source as he says, we have very, very good water coming out other than the chlorine. And I said, well, I'll be darned. So I swapped out and I put these 2 corner filters in. I put a little crushed coral in one before I knew that the pH strips, but it's a buffer. It's okay. I've been watching
it's fine.
Yeah.
And I've got filter floss and some Eheim, those little balls, at the bottom to just weigh it down some.
Yeah. You mentioned you found scuds in one of them too, right? Or no. I told you that check them in a month. You'll probably have scuds
when you send me the setup, I'm gonna have scuds for days.
You'll have scuds for days, and if you ever want to gather some up and re-administer them into the tank, just clean out one of those. They'll breed in there because of all the detritus.
I'm really psyched about. I mean, that's the other thing I did was live. I haphazardly came across the mosquito larva. I think after I got back from Ireland, I went to the lake, the local lake, and I got the handful of muck and a couple of plants. I dumped what I could into the tank and the rest into the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few days later, I went out to the bucket and I'm like, wow, all these things are floating around. Let me get a cup of this stuff. But the water was so murky, I couldn't tell.
Right.
And you guys said, well, just, dilute the water a little bit. Let's see what you got. I had mosquito larvae, a full cup, a full bucket full. I put them in the tank. The fish went absolutely crazy.
Such
Absolutely
a
crazy.
great source of food. I literally did the same thing yesterday, in fact. Yeah, I cleaned out one of my buckets that had a lot of detritus at the bottom.
Yeah. And do you know, I think after that big batch of larvae, they must have grown out some, because I don't have very many left. They must have either, whatever I didn't feed to the fish, they grew into the mosquitoes and they took off. I put a screen on top. I let the screen up and away they flew. And now I'm left with the muck and the leaves decaying, and that's fine. I put it out back. But boy, I'm telling you, this is such a treat for me. I mean, EJ, you called me one night. I was so shocked that I was shirtless.
I was cooking dinner, but I felt like it was Discord call, because
I didn't even know you were female. I just I don't know what made me assume.
That's the beauty of my name.
This hobby is like dominated by men, and I said, oh my God. And I saw Father Fish saying, this EJ, she's something else. She's starting from nothing, and she's come such a long way. And he caught me off guard. But then even Corporal Schrager, he called me up out of the blue. He said, you know what, this is too much to text. He said, can I give you a quick shout? I said, absolutely. He took a look. He gave me some confidence. Surfy from Australia was just so patient. We both were going through ick. He was giving me a lot of help on ick. Yeah. And I'm speaking at a high amped up level, because, I mean, you guys have just got me today. Today was like great. I mean, look at this.
Look at the result. I am just so impressed.
How can you not love the growth? I added all the stuff you told me to get, all the floating plants.
There's your octopus. Let's see some of the plants I sent you.
I had the bacamba. I wish it was doing a little bit better, but
it will. It'll take off.
Yeah, the one you gave me had such nice reds to it, but I think now I'm getting more green coming back.
Okay.
I've got these in the front. I believe they're pygmy swords, maybe.
No, that's bigger. That's Val.
Yeah,
that's Val.
I said,
is that just a broadleaf Val?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah,
it's
this
probably
one is
the jungle Val or something.
I
can't remember.
Super.
I tend to mix up my plants a lot.
Oh, you gave me
I'm very new.
you gave me the this one, EJ, the long
Rickia.
Yeah. And I got the Java fern windalove. This was covered. This was covered in blackbeard algae from my previous setup. Before, sticking with it and just waiting it out.
Yeah.
And Father Fish just kept saying, he said, nope, if the plants start growing, he said the algae's going to go away. It did. I haven't scraped this tank. I haven't scraped the front. I haven't scraped the sides. You could see through it like glass.
Yeah. I haven't had to do that either. It was crazy.
I'm shocked. I'm absolutely. I'm happily shocked. There's no noise from the filters. The bubbler is going. I found today I have an issue, I think, with my heater. When I cranked it up for the ick, I was able to get it up to 86.
Yeah.
But something's wrong with the toggle switch. It won't let me toggle down. But I've got the warranty, and they said to take a short video and send it to them. What they do now is they make you, instead of just saying they'll send you another one and send this one back, they tell you to keep this, but they want proof that you cut the cord. They make you cut the plug so that it can't be used again. But listen, I'm just so thrilled that you asked me to even appear. I'm sorry for the juggling. I'm so nervous. I'm happily.
You're doing great.
You guys are the best. It means so much to me. Like I said, I've had a lot of issues over the past few years. My fish tank is the only thing that really brings me peace and calmness. I can sit here at night, even when everybody's watching something else. I'll glance. That's my spot right there. I'll sit right there, and I just glance over here, and I'm in another world.
Yeah.
And it really is the only thing in my life that, you know, we have no control over anything. And when we try to control things, it tends to often, you know, I heard somebody say one time, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Really?
So
That sounds about right.
yeah. So I have very little control, although I desire it so badly. And the fish tank is one thing that I've always felt I can have a little bit of control for these critters to give them a happy, healthy life. You know, the plants and everything was always a secondary, and I just was always flabbergasted. How can I never get plants to swim? But in reality, I mean, these guys are swimming like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The fish, I've had this catfish in the previous setup, the plantedaquarium.
Yeah.
Oh God, my hand is shaking. This is terrible.
No, it looks great.
He
Where
would
is
never
that?
move. He would
Oh, I see
never
the
swim
plantedaquarium.
around the tank.
Yeah.
Him and the other catfish, they're so active. I could tell they're happy, and it just, that's my rant. I'm out of breath.
Yeah, I know you needed to do that, and we needed to hear it.
You could tell I was a little.
Not at all. Not at all.
I just love your story because, you know, I know it's tough to get it started. You know, it's cheaper. You know, it's a heck of a lot cheaper. But you know, learning how to balance, especially if you don't know anything, and then learning how to balance, and you're not going to get any help from the conventional pet stores. No, don't even get me started on the Facebook groups. Oh, God.
No, and you know, at one point, like I said to. You know, it was always my dream to have a pet shop like the old days, very dark, wooden floors. You walked in, all you heard was bubbling, and you know, it was humid as heck. It was the warmest place you'd ever want to be. It was just something so soothing about that for me as a kid.
Yeah.
And you don't find that anymore. You walk into any place, it's all brightly lit, and you can barely, you know, see the fish. They're never very healthy.
That's where you probably got the ick. Sorry.
Yeah, let me tell you. And no, actually, that I got that from I won't say the name, but it was across the country, and they're usually pretty good. They did refund me for the fish that I bought from them, but you know, there's no price on the ones I lost.
Yeah.
And that was my fault too. I never had a quarantine tank.
You have one now. Right?
I never had a quarantine. It was always plop and drop. I always just said, oh, you know, that's for the real specialists, you know. But I'm a specialist now. I'm a barracuda.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a shark.
Yeah, you are.
I was telling my family when I got the promotions, I was like, I got promoted today, and they said, oh, congratulations. They said, what's your title now? I said, Snook. I said, what's your title today? I said, Barracuda.
I didn't even know about those promotions. This is Discord talk, y'all. Sorry. But your tank looks absolutely amazing. It really does.
Thank you. I'm very happy. I'm a little confused about what to do with the pogo salmon. It's reached the top now, and
Cut it.
I know the first time I lopped off all the plants, Father Fish went crazy. He said, "What'd you cut those down for?"
Well, no, I think you should trim it, but then replant it right back into the tank.
Yeah, yes. EJ's a big trimmer. I like to let it go, just to let it grow.
My tank right now is overgrown. It needs some good trimming.
But how do you? I think if I replant it, you could just replant right back at the base, right? It's just gonna.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll root. That'll root just from a cutting.
Mm-hmm.
But
take those little long tweezers or even short ones and just sort of like gently put it in the soil.
You see that one? You see that right there? That was from the local lake.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Looks like a high grade.
Good job.
That
Yeah,
was just
Yeah.
that was just sticking in the mud.
Yeah.
nice.
It was a twig with like one leaf when I stuck it in here.
Isn't that amazing
It loves
what
your
you
soil.
learned how to do?
I'm telling you, Father Fish. I mean, the simplest of filters now. Happy little green neons. I haven't overstocked. I've stuck to the green. I've got green neons, silver tip tetras, rummy nose, and I ended up getting a trio of
Gladys.
swordtails here.
Oh, okay.
And I found a baby the other day, but then I couldn't. I didn't see her anymore. The baby.
Oh, you know, extra food.
Yeah, but that was. I mean, I've always wanted a live baby. I had guppies as a kid.
Yeah.
A live bearer from a, and you know, I miss so badly those red velvet or the red brick.
Yeah.
The tuxedo. I even had one called tuxedo swordtail.
Yep.
It was all, the male was completely red with a red eye, red tail, but at the bottom of the red tail was a black stripe.
Yeah.
And they called it a tuxedo. I haven't seen that anywhere.
I don't think
they lost the strain. Nobody, the farmer who was doing them died. Nobody picked it up, and the strain disappeared. He had spent years developing that strain.
That was one of my favorites. If I had a bucket list of fish to bring back, that would be at the top one.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Red velvet.
Well, you know, in terms of being able to make sure that the babies make it, you know, just make sure there's a lot more, you know, replant those octopus, and so there'll be more and more of those tall plants at the top, and the babies can hide.
Yep, and I got the
floaters.
The floaters that you sent me.
Yeah, get some Rickia.
I got the Rickia floating in there. I got the.
Okay, that'll grow.
I got the.
I ought to send you some hornwort. I can't. I got way too much of that stuff, and that houses babies. I got baby scarlet baddison in hornwort right now.
The 24/7 light. I got rid of the Finex Stingray. This one is just so much more natural. You know, it goes on at 6:30. It goes off at 11:30. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Wonderful.
And you guys, I mean, support here. This is it's unprecedented. I don't get this much cooperation from people I work with.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, well, you know, those people are just paying
hobby, isn't it?
We do this for fun.
Yeah,
right.
It could certainly, you know, like you, Father Fish, you had the great pleasure of owning a store and seeing people come in and interact with folks and make great relationships. And you know, I know you're highly regarded, and you're a very humble man. But I bow at the foot of your Padre Pesce feet. And I wish you nothing but the best in your new location. EJ, I pray that you just continue to excel. I mean, your interest and your desire to figure things out is just overwhelming, especially for a woman in this hobby. It's a male-dominated hobby. I think you know that. And
I didn't realize it at first.
Wouldn't you say, Father Fish?
Oh, no question. Yeah, there are a few women, and she's one of them, who are just making a mark in the hobby.
Yeah, that's needed.
What I like, but if everybody could have, you know, could really enjoy and experience this, it's really a true joy. I'm right there with you when it comes to. There's a spiritual aspect to this, and it's just so peaceful and calming.
And you know, and the kids today. You know, if a woman like you could inspire even the young girls to be interested, to go into the shops and let the girls pick out the tanks or work in the stores and understand the fish, you know, that's the only way. I know Father Fish has said the only way this hobby can continue to excel is understanding, you know, this whole the dirt and the life, and just letting nature be. Stop trying to interfere. Stop trying to monetize. it's hard. It's hard, but watching someone like you interact with the two age differences, the sex differences, it's like passing the torch, and it's just wonderful, really wonderful. And
Thank
I'm
you.
happy.
I'm actually working with the middle school this fall. I'm working with the science classes with the middle school, the local middle school where my kids are at this fall. We're building a goldfish and turtle pond.
That's fantastic. When my kids were in middle school, I would whatever class they were in, I would move that tank from grade to grade, and just put a couple guppies and some goldfish, and then it'll be for a few months, and then take it away for the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna set up I'm hoping to set up one of my little 3-gallon.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do a thing to it. There's just life in there.
Exactly. And let them, and that's what I love. Father, do that. When you just turn all you got to do is that.
It's amazing.
Right.
And that's what he does. And half the time I'd say, my goodness. And he says, yeah, well, there's a little work in the beginning, but you do it and you leave it alone. Leave it alone. Stop monkeying with it. Stop trying to tweak it. Stop panicking. My instinct is the first sign of a pH swing, or I know that your water is better than my water. I got to look like your water. I'm learning to just accept what I have here. All this driftwood was from prior setups. I didn't buy anything new and he said, don't spend a penny. I took the rocks, the wood, the old rocks that I had, rocks that were used before. This stone I've had sitting in a bucket. I never, where to go? That gray one, silver or gray, beautiful rock. That one there, the little tunnel, another matching one there. I mean, guys, one happy camper here. You get me those scuds, EJ. I'll come on again the next time.
Sure.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Father Fish.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you and talking to you all again.
You bet. See you over on Discord.
Bye. Thank you.